Is Hook leaving AEW for WWE? Plus, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. We've got a contract update for you. And WWE are planning on turning a SmackDown star babyface. It's all in the wrestling news right now. Consider yourself hooked in to this spicy bit of wrestling news. Hook, line, and sinker.
And got him. Sega bass fishing. That's what we're all about here.
I'm reeling out. Pull in a story, Andrew.
I'll pull in a story, all right, for you. This comes from Better Wrestling Experience. What a way to start this video. This comes from Better Wrestling Experience, and they report that both Triple H and Shawn Michaels want to sign Hook. His look, his wrestling skill, his youth, and his second-generation pedigree has made him an obvious person of interest for WWE. According to Better Wrestling Experience as well, Hook's father, AEW commentator Taz, also reportedly would like to see his son join WWE to get exposure and experience. Now, obviously, currently Hook's contract status hasn't been confirmed, but there's speculation he could be, according to Better Wrestling Experience, an easy catch to get from AEW to WWE.
It's all fishing references in this
all
one.
Fishing.
Hook is a great shout, and what a time to be the son of Taz. God damn. You are young, you're handsome, you're good at the wrestling, you are marketable out the wazoo. And you potentially have WWE wanting to offer you some big money. And also, you should have, that's the case, you should have Tony Khan going, here's another bag of money.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
He's a guy genuinely that I could see doing big things in the future. He's a great future prospect. Got a really cool swagger about him at such a young age. And I know, and if the Taz thing will be interesting, I'm sure that once this news starts circulating further, I'm sure Taz will have something to say about it online to confirm or deny or deflect or whatever. If this is the case, I get where Taz is coming from, and that's not throwing shade on AEW.
No, definitely not.
You know, entering the WWE machine and learning it their way doesn't do any harm at all.
No, I agree, and I feel like when sort of Hook was presented to us and there was the huge, massive buzz about Hook being an AEW and wrestling and everything, it feels like we don't actually get to see too much of Hook in a wrestling capacity, or at least not as much as what I thought we might have seen when he was introduced to us in 2021.
Yeah, I genuinely thought that by this point we might have seen a bit more of him outside of sort of multi-man matches and teaming with Danhausen. I thought we might have seen more of a progression for him. And I don't think that's down to Hook's talent. I think it's down just to space and placement. And
yeah.
I think maybe if he was to go and do stuff in WWE, he might have a bit more room to breathe.
Yeah, I'll tell you who just popped into my mind who I'd like to see him face up against. Dominic Mysterio.
Oh, my days.
I think they'd have a nice little thing together, those two.
Oh, like Dom just being all talk, all gas.
And Hook just being like, nah.
Arm drag and just breaks his neck. Yeah, that'd be a lovely time for all. What a day. We'll keep tabs on this one. I'm intrigued by that. We talked in the previous news video about Jimmy Jacobs joining AEW. He's not the only person with a former WWE history that is part of the company. I love this. On the Reffing It Up podcast hosted by Brian Hebner, Tony Chibble has revealed that he's been working AEW lately as well. The Rated R Superstar.
He was the one that I grew up. He was like the announcer that I grew up with as a kid.
He's the SmackDown ring announcer.
He is, yeah.
The Cultaholic Classic SmackDown review. We hear Tony Chibble every week on the podcast, Matthew, Greg, and I, and his voice is timeless. And he said on Brian Hebner's podcast, they started running live events at AEW. I was at one on Saturday. I'll do numerous things. Raphael Morphy is the one that got my foot in the door. He does like 20 different things. I kind of help him out, kind of like with Steve Rubin. I do a little bit of Mark Carrano, do a little bit of market rep stuff, a little bit of production stuff. I was helping Lexi Nair, who was ring announcing for the first time the other day in Tupelo, Mississippi, and she did a great job. Do a little bit of everything, which is nice. I'm not on the road 20 days a month, so that's a good thing as well. Still keeps me active and doing a little bit of that, working here at home. It's a nice little mix right now.
I'm really happy that AEW are sort of picking up these these
Weights and
legends.
strays.
No weights and strays. These legends are to hopefully like help strengthen the product as well. I think it's an absolutely great shout for them to be doing.
I got loads of love for Tony Chimmo, so I'm glad that he's on the books with them. That's lovely to see. Somebody wanting to get back in the ring very soon is a former AEW Women's Champion. Who are we talking about, Andrew?
We are talking about Thunder Rosa. She was asked by NBC Chicago about her recovery, and she said, "It's going pretty well. Things are going as they are supposed to go. I'm super happy that I've been pain-free. Everybody's expecting me to give them news, but I am working out every day trying to get back in the ring as soon as possible, and if it's possible, that's what I'm trying to do."
I feel like doesn't a week go by where we get an update on Thunder Rosa?
It feels like it.
We're nearly there. We're nearly there. You know, it is the equivalent of sitting in the back of the car going, "Are we there yet?" Every time someone goes, "How you doing, Thunder?" I'm not ready yet.
And then someone like slaps the back of her head, and she's like, "I'm turning this car around."
Yeah, I will turn this car around. We will not go to McDonald's. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks have no plans to turn the car around. We got an update on their contract status with AEW since their new deals are coming up. But there's been some question marks because of the return of CM Punk, whether or not there's any bad vibes there. But Fightful Select say that's not the case, as the Bucks, Omega, and Adam Hangman Page have all been negotiating new AEW contracts this year. When we asked for an update this week, say Fightful, we were told the deals aren't done yet. But those we spoke with in AEW were confident that they would retain the Elite despite CM Punk returning to the company. We're also told that most people in AEW expect that each man will remain in AEW on significant money increases. Make the old Skyer. You know, the old bit of Spondulix, as my dad would say.
Spondulix.
The old Spondulix. We're told by WWE sources that they would absolutely have interest in all four talent in the event they became available, but they don't actually expect them to become available because there's no way that AEW are going to let WWE get even a whiff of Omega, Page, and the Bucks. I don't think
that's a big get, isn't it?
Because I think they'll forever be offered money deals to stay, so there'll never be a window where legally Triple H can go buy a Tesco meal deal and sit on a brick wall and shoot the breeze with them. That'll never properly happen. But it looks very much like they're going to stay. Yeah. They're going to make a lot of money out of it, and they're not worried about Punk.
No, and I'm excited to see what they do as well because there's a lot of opportunities I think for them, especially now with Punk back too. I feel like maybe eventually we might get around to seeing something happen there. I'd
be foolish if they didn't. There's money on the table. There's also money on the table with a WWE star and a babyface run. Who's this, dare I ask?
Well, this comes from Justin Barrasso of Sports Illustrated talking about future plans for the WWE Women's Division on SmackDown and how Asuka's title reign may lead to a younger star's biggest moment.
Charlotte Flair? That spry youngster. She deserves an opportunity.
No. We're talking about Io Sky, which is very exciting. They say Io Sky's work has thoroughly impressed Levesque for years, and the reaction she drew from the crowd at Backlash in Puerto Rico only added fuel to the fire for those advocating for her first run as a singles champion on the main roster. Turning Sky face and having a feud with Bayley has been discussed.
That and her feuding with Asuka for the women's title at some
point. I think we're getting little hints of that every now and then. Aren't we?
They've had a few spicy exchanges,
and I'm all in for this. I'm all in for this. I think maybe Money in the Bank could lead to some potential threads unraveling for Bayley and Io Sky in that match, and I think Io would be a tremendous women's champion on the main roster. Tremendous. I really want to see that happen for her, for sure.
Two stars from Japan, absolutely showing the US division how it works if they get those two together. From Japan to Australia, there is a young gentleman and his partner who are looking to rebirth and refocus the wrestling scene in Queensland. His name is Bobby Bishop. I had a chat with him for Desert Island Graps about 2 or 3 weeks ago. We went for a pint when we were in Australia. He's a lovely man. Big fan of Bobby Bishop. He's on the podcast. Get to know him. We talk about a whole bunch of stuff, and he'll choose his 3 favourite matches to watch while stranded on a desert island. Give some love to Bobby Bishop. He'll be on the podcast feed a little bit later on today. Anything you want to plug?
I got nothing at all, Tom. I got nothing at all.
I like
just
your
have a nice day.
shirt, though.
Thank you.
It's nice, that.
EWO for life. Edit videos. Have a cracking Thursday.
And we'll have more wrestling news throughout the day at Cultaholic.com, Gromit. Keys.
Cheese, Gromit. Porridge today, Gromit. Tuesday.
Not guilty, Grommets.
Bye.